Hey everyone, welcome back to the Cakeman Entertainment, and today I'm going to obviously be doing a Matrix Resurrections review. First of all, going into it, I was thinking that this movie's not really required. I mean, Matrix ended on a decent note. Neo and Trinity, died, and that was the end of the movie. But obviously, they came back with a new movie by Lana Wachowski, one of the Wachowskis who did it before as well. Look, this movie wasn't great. I didn't expect much, and I left the movie not. I didn't think much of it after leaving as well. There was a lot of plot holes. I left with a lot of questions, and not good questions, more like plot hole questions about the movie. Just the whole movie didn't have a real Matrix vibe to it either. Starting at the top, it had a okay story going for it. They were trying to say that the first three Matrixes were games, and that he's the game producer. Neo's the game producer for all those games, and that they're in the real world now. And that was actually a good aspect. I didn't mind that. But then once they actually started deep diving into the plot, it just turned into a whole mess. It didn't really know where it was going. There was a train scene with some dodgy CGI and people were being thrown out of it. There wasn't much Matrix combat, as in, you know what I mean by Matrix combat. So, some groundbreaking, revolutionary combat was in even the later of the trilogy, not just the first movie, even the second and third. But in this one, it just felt like a normal Hollywood movie with normal combat. There was nothing special about the combat. Even the scene where there's a little scene in here where the bullets are stopped by Neo, but the same one in the original trilogy where the bullets are stopped, it was so much more of a bigger deal, and they made the scene look so much more important. But in this, they just sort of half showed it. They didn't even really show it all. I don't know if the budget wasn't that much or what, but they didn't really show that. It didn't seem like the technology has increased a lot in 20 years. Yeah, obviously they recasted Morpheus. They had a couple of new characters in there. Jessica Henwick was in there. Priyanka Chopra was in there. They all did alright roles. They acted well. I think Jessica Henwick did a good job in the movie for what she had. Agent Smith was recast, and the new Agent Smith, he didn't have much to say. I was a bit confused by his whole presence, to be honest. What he was doing there, why he saved Neo at the end, and why he just disappeared after saving him. It was sort of a strange entrance, exit, and whole part for him, to be honest. Morpheus was okay. He was not bad, the new Morpheus. He had some good scenes, and he was really trying hard to be like the old Morpheus with his accent and everything like that. He had his combat scene with Neo, but again, that combat scene didn't feel as special as the original combat scene with Morpheus and Neo. There was just something lackluster about it. wasn't as good. And then we get into more of the plot. So in this Matrix, they made it seem like Neo and Trinity have this combined power bond or something. But this wasn't pre-existing. This wasn't in the original trilogy. There was nothing like that. Trinity didn't have powers as you per se, but Neo was the one, right? In this one, they make it seem like Neo is the half and Trinity is the other half. I mean, at the end, Trinity's flying. Trinity seems to have more powers than Neo. Neo's basically nerfed throughout this movie, and that wasn't very. It didn't sit well with me. I don't think it would have sit well with most of the original Matrix fans, because Neo was the one that brought them into the cinema, right? But now they changed it. They had some romance story going on with them, which was okay. There was some good parts to it. And also, I still don't get why the machines saved them. First of all, how they saved them, I don't know. That's, I guess, sort of explainable. But why they saved them, why they kept them alive, and also, why the hell was there no machines covering their two most important assets in the machine area? Why was there no sentience, I mean? Why was there no sentience watching them? I was very unsure of that. They quite easily took Neo early on in the movie without any trouble whatsoever, really, and they got back to their base. There was a particular line in there which I'm sure you would have noticed, that Warner Bros. Line where It was something like the Warner Bros. Have forced us to make a new Matrix game. And it's funny because it seems like that's what this movie was. It was that Warner Bros. Forced the Wachowskis to make another one, or they'll go do it with someone else. It felt like the directors didn't really have a true passion or a want to do this story, because it was just a big convoluted mess by the end. But the soundtrack was really disappointing for me. Obviously, everyone knows Club to Death and many other Matrix songs too. They were really up there in some of the greatest songs of all time. I'm sure if you go on YouTube, you can see how many views Club to Death has. But this had no memorable music whatsoever. Really, I didn't even remember any of the songs from the film at all. Overall, the story was just unnecessary, underdeveloped. It had a good promise. It could have been better, possibly, some decent parts, but it definitely had a different vibe to it compared to the other Matrix films. Whether that's good or bad, I'll let you figure that out on your own, but for me, it felt like a typical Hollywood cash grab, a dodgy story, and using the name of an older masterpiece of a film to get fans in the door. Rating wise, I'll give it a 5 out of 10. It just passes. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of the movie. Did you like it? Did you think it was needed? And until next time, I'll see you guys later.